What's going on, guys? Just got a quick little Final Fantasy news kind of update video thing for you guys today. Over the weekend, we got some great news for Final Fantasy XVI fans as the game's producer, Naoki Yoshida, announced a couple cool things. So, first off, he announced that the game would be receiving a free update that includes some new outfits for some of the characters, along with a few new control schemes that you can use, and a new feature to change the appearance of your sword to have, look however you want it to without having to worry about stats and stuff like that. And it also came with a new free sword. I think it's the Onion Sword. So, okay, I mean, that's pretty neat, I guess. It's free, and it's out right now. So there's no complaining as far as that goes. But we'll check out some of this new stuff in just a minute or two. First, I just wanted to take a quick look at some of those other announcements. So we also got confirmation of two things that I think a lot of people were probably already expecting. But yeah, we got confirmation that the PC port is being developed now, and confirmation that the base game will be receiving some DLC. But not just one DLC, but two paid DLCs coming soon. So that's absolutely great news for gamers who don't own a PS5 and weren't looking to buy a PS5 just to play Final Fantasy XVI. But unfortunately, there was no announced release dates on any of this stuff yet. So I guess Yoshi P stated that the company hopes to have more information on releases for this stuff before the end of the year. For those waiting on the PC version, I guess you'll be waiting at least a little bit longer. Now, as for current owners of the game, let's get back to that free update and take a quick look at some of these new alternative costumes. So, light spoilers ahead. Be careful if you haven't beaten the game yet, especially towards the end of the video. I'm probably going to talk about some stuff you maybe don't want to hear if you haven't beaten the game yet. But yeah, let's take a look at Clive's new look here. We've got Clive's new burnt black attire. It's got a pretty sick black flame design. Quite the edgy look for our hero here. But, he looks pretty good. And I kind of like the gauntlet on his left hand. I don't know if that's supposed to be meaningful or not, I don't know. Okay, so next up we've got this new Snow White design for Jill. Now this one I actually quite like it. Looks nice. The white and the blue together look really cool. I've got to wonder if these new costumes are opening the door for even more alternative costumes to come. I definitely wouldn't be opposed to that. I like dressing up my characters, and it's nice to be able to mix up their costumes, because after playing the game for so long, staring at the same designs, it's nice to mix it up. Okay, so next up we've got Joshua here with his ashen gray outfit. Looks kind of like a reverse of his original design, with the black taking more of prominence on the top part of his shirt and his design here. It looks a little bit less rugged than his original design too, maybe a little bit more form-fitting. I don't know, looking good, Josh. I really hope nothing bad happens to you, buddy. But yeah, last but not least, we've also got new looks for our sweet animal companions here, and these also look quite nice. I actually really like this new icy blue Torgal design, and it's good to see Ambrosia getting some love as well. I mean, honestly, I think I'll probably be using all of this stuff the next time I play the game, because it's just nice to be able to mix it up. And yeah, give us more of this. I'm all for this. Let's move on to the biggest announcement here, and that's the two paid DLCs. So now that these are confirmed, what do you guys think we're going to be seeing? I'm pretty sure I read that Yoshi P already stated that he was interested in doing some sort of DLC with Sid, but I think that was pretty early on, maybe even before the game released, so I'm not really sure if that's still what the company is thinking of doing. Maybe they could do something with Sid in between the time skip, and I do know that Sid is a fan favorite. I mean, he's super cool, and how can you not love that gravelly voice? But is that what you guys want to see? I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool. I know a lot of people, myself included, would have loved for the game to maybe have given a little more time to Jill. So maybe that's something else that Square Enix might be thinking of doing with this DLC. Jill also sees most of her action kind of early on in the game. But unlike Sid, Jill does tag alongside Clive for a very good portion of the game. So maybe the DLC could be better spent on something else. Personally, I just think it would be sweet as hell to play as Jill, so that's what I'm hoping for, but I don't know. I think one thing that most players noticed in their playthrough of the game was the heavy hinting of Leviathan the Lost. So now maybe I missed something with this one, but I really had way more questions than answers with all of the Leviathan the Lost situation. What I mean here, now, okay, no backing out. This is spoiler territory for sure, guys. But yeah, so for example, we've got the whole stuff with Ultima's plan to use Clive as his vessel. So Clive was to absorb all of the power of these icons, and then, you know, Ultima would have his way with them, but if Leviathan is just gone, how exactly was that going to work out anyway? I mean, obviously it didn't work out, but it just feels like kind of a huge flaw in Ultima's plan if he needed all of the powers of the icons, but one of them is just missing. I don't know. Like I said, maybe I did miss something with the Leviathan situation. If you guys know about that, feel free to tell me in the comments. But I think the game hinted at it heavily enough that I think this is probably the most logical place for at least one of the DLCs to be covering. I just don't know where that would take place in the story. Would something with that be a good amount of time before the story begins? Like, do we find out what happens with Leviathan? Or is this something that happens maybe alongside the main story with different characters? I don't really know. I don't know. Would they want to do any DLC covering anything that happens after the ending of the game? Personally, I don't think that they will be touching anything that happens after the game. Maybe they could do like a Final Fantasy XVI 2, like Final Fantasy X 2 style. I've mentioned that before. I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't think they'll actually do that. But if they do cover anything that happens after the end of the story, I would kind of prefer it to be just a full-on sequel over just a DLC, but I don't know, maybe they could tie up some loose ends. Now, if any of this DLC actually covers stuff that happens after the end of the game, do you guys think that that maybe hurts the ending? That's the reason why I don't think they would go towards that direction, but I could be wrong. I'm just thinking, if you look at the way that the Square Enix has covered DLC in the past with their previous games, they kind of go with character-specific DLC. If you look at like Final Fantasy XV, for example, they did character-specific DLC chapters that helped expand kind of the ending and expanded a lot of stuff. But I think with Final Fantasy XV, the ending kind of needed that more so than Final Fantasy XVI's ending does. And I'm just also thinking, if we look at Final Fantasy VII's DLC, you'll see that's also character-specific DLC in the form of Yuffie and Intergrade. So maybe if we get DLC here, we're not going to be playing as Clive. I think that most likely we won't be. But is that kind of weird in a game where we basically only control Clive in the whole game? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about all that kind of stuff in the comments section. What are you guys looking for in the DLC? But yeah, I'll be here making videos on any more updates on any of this stuff. And of course, I'll be wanting to play this stuff. So look out for anything like that. And yeah, make sure, if you guys made it this far into the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe and stuff like that. YouTube is really happy when you do that for me. And yeah, that's it. See you next time.